Are you jacked in to Buffy's Angels? I'm your host. I've seen them all, Buffy and Angel, many times. Daniel Ehrenberg over here, and over there is Logan B. Adair watching for the first time. What's up, pal?
You know what I just realized?
Yeah,
I just realized how lucky you are that you've seen these shows so many times.
I know.
That's freaking crazy. Like I'm watching it for the first time, but
Let me
you've
walk
seen
you
them
through
lots
it.
of times.
Let me walk you through it. Watch the first season live as it aired. Okay. That summer, WB aired all the first season episodes a second time. I watched them all again in reruns. That's when
Wow.
I was like, I'm really into the show. I showed them to my sister. She was like, this is pretty cool. I get it. And then
It's you're a much bigger fan though than her, which is interesting because
oh
it's like a show about a woman, a teenage girl.
yeah, but it's also a pretty smart show.
Oh
Um
wow.
I'm
Wow.
good. Sorry. Um, um anyway, fucking okay, so keep
Yeah.
watching. Then January of 2000, this is like during season 5, they released season 1 on DVD. So I went back and watched that. And they started releasing them every 6 months. They put out a new season of Buffy on DVD. In each of the sets, they'd have an ad for the next one. The next one comes out
Wow.
this day. All right. And so I buy them all. Then the summer um before season 6, FX got the rights to reruns. Okay. So they started airing all of them in reruns. So I started watching them again that way. All right. So
Yeah. What about Angel though?
Angel really never went into syndication the same way. So like I watched those Angels as they were airing and I picked up the DVDs and stuff and had to rewatch it myself. But I think in like their entireties, I've probably seen both of these shows, like maybe Buffy over 10 times
Wow.
and Angel probably closer to 6 or 7.
More times than I thought, honestly. I would have thought you would have said like four. You've seen them both four
No,
times.
there was a period of time where like Buffy was one of the only things I owned on DVD. So
Yeah.
I would watch these incessantly.
You're just watching Witch on repeat,
Any
especially when you
episode
only
that
have
had
season
a
one.
any episode that had a commentary track, I've seen the commentary track.
Wow. Who are they
Yeah,
with usually? Joss?
usually Whedon. Yeah, it's
Just him
not a lot of
alone?
actors. No, it's usually like Whedon and another writer, or Whedon and a director, or
Of
something.
the episode or just a random?
Yeah, yeah. And
That's
then
really
like
cool.
later on in like 6 and 7, they started including the actors more.
That's awesome. I got to check
Yeah.
those out. Um, all right, but
Hmm.
we're here to talk about episodes 3 of Buffy and Angel.
Of
And I'm
season 2
excited.
of Angel and season 5 of Buffy. Yeah. So the Buffy we're talking about is called The Replacement, Big Xander episode, and the Angel is called First Impressions, which is kind of the first gun-centric episode since he's been made part of the main cast.
Well, the first
Um,
episode with him was very gun-centric.
that's why I said since he's
Oh,
become part of the main cast.
okay. Sorry. Yeah, you're right
Okay.
though.
Um, well, we should start with Buffy, huh?
I gotta be honest, I'm so excited to talk about the Angel episode. But yeah,
I'm excited to talk about both. All right. So these aired October 10th, 2000. Okay. Um this you want to know what happened?
yeah, that's part of the
All right.
show.
Not a lot this
Oh,
week politically, but plenty in terms of music and movies coming out. Okay.
hmm.
First of all, ABC, they debuted their new Tuesday night lineup opposite these episodes. Okay. They've got Who Wants to Be a Millionaire at 8, followed at 9 by a sitcom block of Dharma and Greg leading into The Gina Davis Show.
What? I never heard of that.
Yep, that was a new show they were trying out, sitcom with Gina Davis. Got canceled after one episode, but they were like, man, but Gina Davis is a star, right? So a couple of years later, they tried her in another show called Commander in Chief, where she was the president of the United States. And then that got canceled after one season. So they were like, I think the Gina Davis experiment's over.
Let's put her in Stuart Little as the mom.
No, she'd already done that. But they did after that. They did throw her on Grey's Anatomy for a season as a recurring character. All right, so that was tonight. Then you got and at 10 o'clock after the Gina Davis show, they had a show called Gideon's Crossing. And the only reason I want to bring that up is because I haven't said R.I.P. to Andre Brower yet on the podcast.
He died
And
recently?
yeah, he just died like last week. I was a huge Andre Brower fan. He's one of the great TV actors in television history, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh.
Um, and really sorry to see him go. But Gideon's Crossing was
Well,
one of
Topher
his.
Grace. He's probably number one, right? Best
Eat
TV
shit.
actor of all
Don't
time.
don't interrupt me when I'm fucking
Okay, yeah, you're right.
RIPing
That was very
somebody.
unnecessary. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Uh, but yeah, Gideon's Crossing was one of his few failures commercially. But I mean, people know him for Homicide: Life on the Street and Brooklyn Nine-Nine and all his great work. I particularly love him in The Mist. He plays the next door neighbor to Tom Jane in The Mist.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
So he's just at the very beginning, and then he dies by the mist, I
Well, he
assume.
doesn't. He dies in the grocery store. He lasts like half the movie. He's
Oh, he
he's a
goes to
good
the grocery store
character.
with him?
Yeah, yeah.
Wait, that black man?
Yes.
I fucking know him.
Yeah. Great actor, right?
Wait, I've like seen him in things besides the
Yes.
mist. I
Yes,
didn't
you
know that's who
have.
you were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
What's his name? What's his name? Andre something?
The great Andre Brower.
Yeah. Damn, that's upsetting. He
Yeah.
died recently.
Very suddenly. Yeah. It was a bummer.
Damn. All right. Well, thanks for
Okay.
sharing that.
No problem. Happy to bum you out on the show. The number one song in America at this point was Come On Over Baby by Christina Aguilera.
Okay.
You know that song?
Not really.
Come on. Come on over. Come on over, baby.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
What a classic. All right.
Yeah. She's good.
Um, I looked up, you know how I usually tell you what albums came out because it's a Tuesday?
Yeah. I didn't know it was
Well,
Tuesday.
well, that's why I've been telling you that because Tuesday was album release day, and that's
Okay.
when Buffy aired. Um, but I looked up this week, not many albums, but it was a huge singles week. Listen
Wow.
to all of these hit singles that came out here on the same day. Are you ready?
Yep.
Southside by Moby featuring Gwen Stefani, an incredible song. All right. She Bangs by Ricky Martin, later to be beautifully covered by the great William Hung. Um, Original Prankster by The Offspring. What a song. Blender by Collective Soul. All the way it falls on me, it brings me down. Now I remember that song as being the opening credit song on the video game NHL 2001, which is the greatest hockey video game of all time.
Wow.
I
We don't
that
play
game
the new
was
ones.
no. I NHL 2001. That's the one. That game is so good, Logan, that anytime I'm in a video game store, I check to see if they have a used copy of that game and I buy it. I own probably 20 copies of that game just because,
For game systems you don't even have.
I have a PlayStation 1 and 2. They get scratched up, Logan. So I'll never not have a copy.
Wow. That's amazing. I never knew that.
Yeah, NHL 2001.
When you
All right.
die, I'll start doing that as like a
As a tribute. I
as a
love it.
tribute to you.
All right. And now here's two other singles that were released this day. How about Rolling, Rolling, Rolling,
Wow.
Rolling?
This is the
What?
first one I've even heard of,
All
honestly.
right. Okay. Well, I'm sure you've heard of this one too. Same day as Rolling, Rolling, Rolling. It's a beautiful day.
Yeah, great song.
Come on.
Doesn't The
What
Undertaker
a
use
day.
Rollin', Rollin', Rollin'?
Yeah,
Doesn't
he
he use
did.
that?
You don't know She Bangs? You don't remember William Hung?
Uh, I'm bad with song titles. It's one of my worst
But
things.
you know William Hung, right?
I don't know. Maybe.
He was like this little Asian kid that was on American Idol, and he was like one of the bad ones, but he was so funny that they brought him back a few times.
Yeah, I've seen
And
this
he,
guy before.
she bangs, she bangs. That was his song that he
Remember Pants on the
covered.
Ground, Pants on the Ground. Remember that guy?
Logan, never ask me if I remember that guy. I think about him every day.
I think he got murdered. I'm pretty sure that guy got stabbed to death.
On the
Pants on the
ground,
Pants
guy.
on the Ground guy. Yep. I'm
No.
pretty sure that's what happened.
Mm, body on the ground, huh?
Yeah, I didn't want to say anything
No.
about that.
All right. Um, what a movie week, too. All right. The new number one movie in America, Meet the Parents. All right, we'll cover it this year, 2024.
I'm wrong. This
Um,
guy's alive and well.
okay,
I don't know
great.
what I'm thinking
Glad
of.
to hear it.
But shout out to Larry Platt. I don't
Okay.
know. That's crazy.
All right, Meet the Parents is the number one movie in America. Number two,
Okay.
Remember the Titans. Debuting at number 3, the Get Carter remake with Sylvester Stallone. And debuting at number 5, Digimon the movie. You remember Digimon?
No,
That
no,
was
no
a
idea.
ripoff. That was a ripoff of
Oh no, I know Digimon.
Pokemon.
I didn't know they made a movie.
They did. Digimon the movie. It debuted at number 5.
What's the movie about?
There are these things called the Digimon, and in a feature-length film, they do some stuff.
Did they cast Jamon Hunsu in the lead role?
You
His name is Digimon.
mean Digimon Hansu? No, he's not in
Digimon
there.
Hansu. How do you spell that? I don't. I'm trying to look that
It's
movie up.
DJ. Oh, Digimon, Digimon.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. But also debuting this week outside of the top 10 in the indie theaters. How about these, Logan? All on the same week. Joel Schumacher's Tigerland, Spike Lee's Bamboozled, and Darren Aronofsky's Requiem for a Dream. All
So
debuting
those are
this
pretty
week.
big.
Those are big movies, yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
art fans' wet dream. Those three films, I guess.
yeah, for sure.
What was the
And
first one? Sorry.
Meet the Parents.
Oh, that was the first one you said?
Oh, of the indie movies I mentioned, I think Joel Schumacher's Tigerland, which was him making sort of a smaller war type movie.
Is that good?
It is, yeah.
Joel Schumacher's kind of good, right? Like people make fun of him, but I kind of like him. He's kind of like
Listen, the Joel
he's
Schumacher
kind of desperate.
directed. He
It's fun.
directed Batman Forever and Batman Returns. We all understand that. We all. He's amazing. Listen, Joel Schumacher. He's a crazy person. He got his start like doing Barbara Streisand's hair. That's how he broke into Hollywood. We all understand he's weird, but he's made like 12 good movies. He deserves credit.
Did you say he made Batman and Batman Returns?
Um, Wait,
I
hang
saw
on.
your microphone disconnected.
Yeah, I know. Just give me a second.
I think he made the other two bad ones, or at least Batman and Robin. I don't know if he made Batman Forever. What's that one called?
Yeah, if I said Batman and Batman Returns, I for sure meant Batman Forever and Batman and Robin.
Who made Legends of the Fall? I thought he made that movie.
No, that was Ed Zwick, I believe.
Oh, that's one of my mom's favorite movies, Legends of the Fall.
Well, it's got a lot of scenes where Bradley Pitt's hair is just
It's
like
so beautiful.
it's just fucking whistling in the
He's
wind
just
while
playing
he's sitting
badminton with his
and
brothers.
and he's sitting atop a horse in a
Yeah,
field. Like it's
yeah,
I mean, that is like a mom's wet dream, that movie.
it really is. Yeah, I
Also
bet yours liked
Henry's.
it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. That's sad though, because you have to watch the boy from ET die early on. I remember I was like traumatized when I saw that movie.
I don't think I ever really. Well, maybe I guess I
He
did.
goes to war, Henry Thomas, and he dies. He's the
That's
youngest
right.
brother.
He's the brother. Right. They're all
He like gets
brothers.
caught in barbed wire, and they just like murder, and then they scalp him. I remember.
Wow.
It's
You know who else?
crazy.
You know who else got caught in barbed wire in the 90s is Pamela Anderson.
What does that mean?
She was in a movie called Barbed Wire.
Okay, okay.
Somebody out there liked that joke.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
All right. I'm pretty much done. Let's get into the Buffy episode. This is written by Jane Espenson, who at
Wow.
this point was a specialist in comedy episodes. Let's look at some of her. I wrote down
This
some of
one's
her
deep.
This one's got a little deepness to it, but it's also very funny, and I think that's what she specializes in because, of course, she also wrote Earshot, which is hilarious. It's got the stuff about like Buffy telepathically discovering that Giles and Joyce fucked, but it's also got Jonathan attempting to commit suicide. So that's sort of
Mhm.
her stock and trade. She's
This is
previously,
a way better balance.
yeah.
I
So
honestly
Earshot, Earshot's one of the best episodes in Buffy history.
no, no. I think you're kind of underselling like the depth of it. You're saying like the. I think the depth outweighs the comedy. I think like the
I
more like
agree.
the. Okay,
I agree,
good.
but I
Okay.
think that's okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think it
Okay.
works for that episode. Um,
Okay.
but she also wrote Band Candy. She also wrote Pangs, which has the bear showing up and Spike, and there's a new man where Giles turns into the demon. And she wrote Superstar, the big Jonathan episode. So this is what she likes to do.
Yeah.
Um,
She's one
and
of my favorites.
Mine too. And I recently read some interesting interview stuff with her. I'm currently in the middle of an oral history, a book-length oral history of the television program The OC.
I would never be
And
in the middle. I would finish it in one sitting.
You would never start it is the problem.
I would finish it immediately.
And Jane Espenson, of course, wrote for the first season of the OC, so she had
Oh
some.
wow.
There were some
She's like
interviews
the
with
head
her in
writer
there.
for that show,
Not at all. No, no, no. She was just on the staff.
but for the whole first season, that's it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Then she left, I think, to join the staff of Battlestar Galactica.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Or you ever see that? Are you a big? I don't really know this about. Are you a Star Trek fan? Really?
I've never really watched Star Trek except the movies.
That's kind of what I thought. But are you a Battlestar fan?
I never watched the original Battlestar, like from the 70s or whatever, but the remake they did with like Edward James Olmos and stuff, I was obsessed with that show. I've watched that show more
Katie
than once.
Sackhoff, is that right?
Yep, yep. I have that on DVD.
Yeah, she's cool, Katie Sackhoff. I feel like
She fucking
every time I've
rules.
seen
Yeah.
her, she's awesome.
She should have
Put
been
her
a
in more
bigger
stuff.
star. Yeah.
Yeah, she's cool.
I thought she was gonna blow up after Battlestar. It never really happened. I think just because no one really watched Battlestar except fucking losers.
Isn't that a Dwight Schrute show?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's his show.
Yeah, he loves that show. There's one scene in The Office where he's wearing like a sweatshirt that says Battlestar
What's
Galactica on
his
it.
saying? Beats Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, it's like Beats, Bears, Battlestar Galactica
Yeah,
or
it's
something
three
like that.
things. I forget what
Yeah.
the other one is, but that's kind of his knock 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 penny thing.
It is a little bit.
All right, we going with the
Um,
episode.
yeah, yeah. Oh, and our director for both episodes this week, so we'll get him done.
Whoa, holy shit! Is this the first time
Yeah,
that's ever happened?
I believe it is.
That seems
Yes.
crazy.
James A. Constner somehow found a way to direct both this week's Buffy and this week's Angel.
Well, he
Um,
sort of half directed the action scenes in Angel. I hate the way that they're edited. I actually did notice that. So
Interesting.
maybe he
Okay.
was a little stretching himself.
Yeah, pressed for time on Angel.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's a trusted director. His most recent episodes of Buffy before this were New Moon Rising, Oz's last episode, and Primeval, which was like the pseudo season finale episode.
I like the one
And
time where you said New Moon Rising was the one where Oz left for the second time.
well, it is. And he also his most recent episode of Angel had been 5 by 5, which was the
Oh,
Faith
wow.
episode that we preferred. So
Yeah.
he's really good.
Yeah, he's really good. So we
Yeah.
we got Espenson and that guy. Pretty
Yeah,
great.
a good team this week for Buffy.
Yeah.
Let's hear you scrote your notes.
Okay. Okay. All right. So well, I feel like I like this episode a lot more than you do. I don't really want to
I
hype it
like
up
this episode. You only here's the thing. I need to stop telling you beforehand when I really like episodes because
I don't think you did that.
I think I did that with that Angel on Are You Now or Have
You
You
did,
Ever
yeah.
Been. I think I did that with Restless, the Buffy
Mm-hmm.
finale. So I gotta stop doing that because I want episodes to sneak up on you.
Yeah, they
And I
catch
think
me off guard.
that's what this one did. And so even if you do like it more than me, I think that's awesome.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we're hanging out in Xander's basement. Buffy, Riley, Anya, Xander.
Yes. The
We're hanging out.
Scoobs.
Well, only like some of them. We're missing Willow and Tara.
No Tara.
Tara's no in this
Tara
episode.
this episode. Yeah.
Completely gone this episode.
I think this is the first episode with no Tara since she was
Is that
introduced.
true?
I think it might be.
That's amazing. If so,
Yeah.
they never really force her. I feel like
No, but they always use her in a scene or two, and they didn't this
I
week.
kind of like Tara,
I do too. She's an important presence for the show, I think.
especially
You're
with
gonna-
her thing with Dawn that we discovered.
You're
last week.
gonna get a Tara, our first ever really Tara-centric episode in a few weeks, and it's written and directed by Joss Whedon. So it's clearly a character
Mhm.
that he is invested in.
I love it. That really excites me.
Yeah.
So we're hanging out, and there's like a moment where Buffy. I don't know if we're like laying any foundation where Xander likes Buffy again, but a few weird moments. It's but one here where she is like moaning, where she's getting her neck rubbed, and Xander's like, "Oh," he's kind of turned on by
I
that.
thought I got it more that he was trying to compete with Riley. He was like, "Ooh, Riley is like
yeah, it's like
making
forgetting
Buffy
Sarah
make-"
Marshall.
Yeah, yeah. And oh, you mean where they're fucking next door?
Yeah,
to
the
each-
sex scene right next to each other.
That's good.
By the way, I thought Kristen Bell would be good in a Muppets movie. I didn't want to just say that just because of the
She would
sequel.
be good. She would be good. Frankly,
she-
Dax would too.
Mila Kunis might be too.
Any tiny person. Yeah.
That's kind of a good point.
Mm.
But Jason Segel's huge.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Maybe you need an oversized or undersized person. Normal people
the-
don't work.
I thought his Muppet looked like in Shrek 2 when Shrek turns into a human. You remember that? When he's like Man or a Muppet, that song when he's looking at
Oh
the
yeah,
exhibition.
sort of.
He
Why
looks
are we
like that.
talking about? Move
I
on.
don't know. Yeah. Uh, so we're in the.
I wanna not talk about Muppets again for about 6 months.
I had a great time though, honestly.
I did too. I had a great time, but I am after Happy Time Murders. I'm Muppeted
You're
out.
right. You're right.
Yeah,
All right. So we're in the basement. Xander's like being bothered by his parents, and he's like, I gotta move out. Right.
yeah.
This
He has a
sucks.
fun thing where he sort of reminisces about all the things that have happened in the basement.
Yeah.
He says
Isn't
like
that at
that.
the end though? And then he's like,
Oh,
I
is it?
fucking hate
I'm
this
sorry.
place.
Yeah, I don't want to jump
It's
the
like he's
gun.
moving out
Go
with
ahead.
Riley, and he's like, over there, this happened, and this happened,
Right,
but
right,
this
right,
is
right.
terrible.
Yeah,
This sucks.
yeah.
And they're watching a kung fu movie, and Buffy's whole deal is she's criticizing it
It
because
reminded
she
me
knows
of.
fighting.
Do you remember that there's a scene during a high school episode where they're all hanging out watching a Bollywood movie?
What episode?
Just some episode where they're all in high school.
Vaguely.
Yeah, that this is what this reminded me of. It's the second episode of Buffy to start with them like watching a foreign film and discussing it.
You don't know what episode that is?
Not off the top of my head, no.
Whoever, Tim, when you make trivia, make that a question. I will figure it out, and he'll have no idea what it is. You'll say which two episodes start with kung fu, uh,
Right.
and I'll know it. Um, well, I
It's
guess
not
that's
Kung Fu
Bollywood.
though, it's Bollywood,
Yeah,
yeah.
sorry. And they're like, this is like when we watch a witch movie with Willow, and she's like, a cauldron. We don't use cauldrons anymore. Cut
Right.
to a guy with a cauldron, and he's like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna kill Buffy. Pretty funny.
Pause.
Really unique start to an episode, I thought.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool, really creative.
Yeah, I always feel like Jane Espenson doesn't really come from a place of formula. Like a lot of Buffy writers, I think, will sit down to start an episode and they're like, "All right, so Buffy's in the graveyard patrolling," you know. But like Jane Espenson really thinks about it.
Yeah, yeah. Good point.
Yeah.
So we go to Xander's visiting an apartment. Might get this apartment. Everybody goes with him. I like a line that
You assume he's probably gonna get it because it's clearly a built set, and
God,
there's
I
no
hope I get it. I
there's no
hope I get
reason
it.
they would have built this set for one episode.
Great point. Great point. Didn't think about that.
Yeah.
But I like Willow in the hallway. She's like, whenever we're in this hallway, we're gonna know. Oh, we're going to Xander's.
I like
Well,
that too.
Willow's so good this episode, I think. Is Jane the best writer for Willow? That might be true. I don't know if that's true, but
No,
she's
I
really good.
Marty Noxon is so good at writing Willow.
Okay, all right. But this is good, and I like the later on she has a moment where Xander's like, "We'll see how you take it when you have a twin when you have an evil twin," and he leaves, and she's like, "I thought I did a good job." Talking about
Yeah,
Doppelgangland. That
yeah,
was so funny. Oh,
that was
she's
good.
great. She's great. All right, so we're there, and there's a woman, and she has no respect for Xander, so she thinks that Riley got to be Riley, the guy that's getting this
Right.
place. And I love Xander's so good this episode. The way he like his physical comedy when he wipes his hand on his shirt to shake her
Oh
hand,
yeah,
I thought was so
Nicholas
fucking
Brennan.
funny.
He's such a mess. I love it.
But you talked about, I think like last week, you were like, we're in the era where he's starting to get a little fat. He has his shirt off. He looks amazing. He looks
Yeah,
great. He just
he's
looks like
just he's just getting broader. He used to be thinner. I'm not saying he's getting fat. He's just
I thought he looked great, honestly.
he just gets bigger.
I don't know. I'm waiting for it. There's 7 seasons. We're in season 5.
Yeah,
It hasn't happened yet.
I'm telling you what
It's
happened.
not like Tony
Um,
Soprano where like every season he gets
no, it's
bigger
not
and
like
bigger.
Tony Soprano.
Well, that's what I thought I kind of at the beginning when Tim was like, "Oh, just wait till he gets fat."
I would love it if he got Tony Soprano fat.
It's kind of what I pictured.
Yeah.
So,
I would love an interview with Nicholas Brendan. They would. I'm just every time I go to Crafty, they'd have sausage and peppers. I'd have to eat that. Yeah. Um.
crazy moment here. Buffy and Riley go sit on Xander's bed, his possible bed, and then you start
yeah,
making
just
out.
make out. Yeah.
What are you doing? Like, if you want to go in the other room because you can't keep your hands off each other, you got to kiss, then do it. But why are you sitting on the bed to do it? Just like, I don't, that was weird to me. Whatever. But yeah, whatever. So Xander, he tells Anya, he says, Listen, my construction job, we're about to end soon, and I can't really afford this place. I'm sorry. And she's like, "Oh, Xander, you never have things." She says he has things untogether. She says,
Yeah.
"Thought that
She
was
says,
good."
I'm sick of taking tours of beautiful things that I can't have.
She's so specific,
Yeah.
Anya. It's crazy
She's
how many
great.
different writers have written for her because I feel like she's has the most specific dialogue of anybody. Everybody nails it though with Anya. She's
Yeah,
one of my
everybody
favorites.
on the staff has a handle on her voice.
Yeah, 100%. And the actor's so good. I forget her name.
Emma
She
Caulfield.
might be the best actor on the show.
Wow.
What do you think?
I think that's crazy, but
Really?
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
think that's that crazy.
I think she has a handle on her character and she knows what she's
Is
doing.
Sarah
And
the best?
she's really yes.
I guess so. I guess so.
Or I mean, or Allison Hannigan, one of the two.
I'm really been taken with
She's
what's her name?
great. Like no, I'm not, what? Are you asking
Caulfield.
me what her name is
I
again?
almost called her Cauldron. I was thinking Cauldron.
Emma Cauldron.
I'm a Cauldron. All right. So
Uh,
anyway, we leave the apartment, right? Giles, cut to Giles. He's at the
oh,
magic
I
box.
just want to say I think this actress who plays the real estate lady is
Hmm.
so bad.
Interesting. Yeah. I didn't. I was.
I think she's terrible. I don't really understand the character. I don't understand why she's disgusted with
What do you
Xander
mean?
here. And then the next time, just because he's slightly suaver, she's like desperate to fuck him.
No,
Uh,
I like it.
I don't know. I didn't care for
It's
the
showing like
act.
the two different sides of Xander.
Okay, I just didn't care for the actor mostly. And frankly,
I agree, but the character I actually kind of liked.
okay, but I looked up this actor. I saw that this was her first role that she'd ever been cast in anything. She didn't get another role until 2 years later on an episode of Firefly. Joss Whedon
Wow.
fucked this girl. Joss Whedon
Yep.
definitely fucked this girl.
Yep. All right. All right.
Yeah.
So magic box time.
Yeah.
Giles is there. He's unpacking all of his stuff, and then oh no, a demon shows up, and Giles tries to fight him off for a second, but Toth, his name's Toth. Toth ends up winning. I like the moment by the way when Giles is like, when they're like, oh, so he kind of ran off, right? And Giles is like, no, he actually kind of like did a majestic cape thing and walked off, which I was like, yeah, he did do that. He 100% did do that. Uh, that was really funny. So, and then he says that he had a specific smell, so they go to the city dump, I guess.
Yeah.
Whatever.
He had a very specific olfactory.
Yeah,
Did you know what that meant?
I did. Yeah, I
Okay.
did. I did know what that meant. Yeah. Yep. Thanks. So then we
Sorry,
go.
I wondered.
Yeah. They wondered with Xander too. They were like, Xander, you know what that is? This is the most I've ever related to Xander ever.
You
I
are
get no damn
Xander.
respect. It's crazy. Really upsetting, but it's all right. So the demon guy shows up,
Toth.
Toth, and he fucking shoots at Buffy, but Xander saves her, and it hits Xander. And then we walk
Yeah.
off with Xander. We're like, Xander, we got to take you home. Cut to. It's not a cut, actually. It's actually like it's a cool shot. I don't know how they did it.
I'll tell you how they did it. Nicholas Brendan has an identical twin brother.
Are you joking?
And no, and so they just
What
had
the
him
fuck?
yeah, so they had him on set on this episode so they can do shots like that.
That seems too. Are you kidding?
No, I'm dead serious. Nicholas Brendan
That is
did
fucking awesome.
he did all the acting. Like all the lines are delivered by Nicholas Brendan. But anytime there's a shot with both of them in the same shot,
Yeah, like in
they
the
used
kitchen
his
when
yeah,
Buffy has him in the kitchen.
or
Yeah.
when they pan to him over at the dump. One
That
of
was
the
fucking awesome. That's so
yeah,
that I know that they did that with Linda Hamilton. She has a twin. There's a shot in I think Terminator 2 where she's like doing something in a mirror. And it's like a cool mirror shot. But what they did was it's not a mirror. It's like it's just her twin on the other side.
that's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jane Espenson pitched this idea to Joss Whedon with the knowledge that Nicholas Brendan had an identical twin. That was part of
Wow.
her pitch. Yeah.
That rules. I love this episode even more. That is so cool. She took advantage of that. That's so cool. That's awesome. All
Yeah.
right. So we go off. We have two. Oh, by the way, so we ran into Spike there for a second. Spike was like, "Oh, you mean that demon? Whatever."
Oh, right. Yeah. He was like collecting shit for from the dump.
Yeah. Pretty weird.
Spike, like, they're setting shit up with him, like I can see it.
We have
like
another scene with him.
because
It's not the only time we see him.
I know where they're going with Spike, so I see what they're doing, but it really feels like he's adrift right now.
Yeah, it feels like those few Gun episodes where we're just like got to see Gun because he's in the opening credits, you know.
Right, totally.
But uh, well, yeah, this is probably Spike's worst episode in a long time.
I don't disagree with
He has
that.
this moment, and then he has the moment with the mannequin. That's it.
Yeah, he kicks a mannequin in the
That's
head. That's
really
like
bad.
his yeah.
Even in the last one, he had the line with Harmony where he's like, "I remember," where he's like, "You look good. I feel good. I remember." You know?
Yeah. I will say though, that mannequin comes into play. They're setting shit up with that mannequin.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
But so that's what happens there, and then Xander. So he wakes up, right, and he's like, "Oh, I got to get Buffy's help. I woke up in the dump. This has got to be bad, right?" So he goes
Yeah.
to call Buffy, but then he sees like the sophisticated version of himself walk by, and he's like, "Oh, that's not good." So he follows him to his job.
Right.
But then we catch up with Buffy and Riley. They're kissing, right? And Dawn, she's at the door and she's like making gaggy noises, right?
Right.
Like, ew, gross. And she like talks about her
And
friend or
it's like,
something.
you can't yell at me. I'm in the hallway. I'm not in your
That's good
room.
writing. That's like
Yeah.
good like sibling stuff. Like, I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. And Joyce, the fucking buzzkill of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, comes out of her bedroom and she's like, honestly, Joyce sucks. What's Joyce's best moment?
Oh my God. I
I
can't
feel
believe
like
what I'm hearing
no,
here.
I feel like this isn't news. I feel like I've never liked Joyce ever.
What's Joyce's best moment? Probably her hanging out with Spike in the living room during Becoming Part Two.
That's good. I like the one where who is it that breaks in and like ties her up? Is that
Faith?
Harmony? That's Faith. It's Faith. She has a good
Yeah.
moment with Faith there.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know, but she comes out of her room and and they're like, "Mom, can you help me?" And Joyce's immediate reaction is like, "Oh my God, my daughter's giving me a headache. Leave me alone." And it's like, it's your one scene in the episode. You can't like be cooperative at all with your
Listen,
sibling.
she's got a headache.
This is the first time she's ever been with her two daughters, seemingly, and she's already annoyed.
She's been with them for all their whole lives.
I don't know that. I don't know what the hell's going on. Mr. Poopy Butthole, right?
uh
All right. So anyway, we go to the mannequin. Spike kicks the mannequin, and he's like, I'll kill Buffy, whatever." All right.
yes,
Yeah.
correct.
So we go to the job, Xander's job. There's like a weird thing where he thinks he's gonna get fired, but then he gets a promotion because he's respectable now.
Yeah. Must have had
What?
a really good day at work that one day.
I guess. No. I don't think that that's the case at all. I think they're saying that Xander's like better than he thinks he is. Like this whole time
Right,
he
right.
thinks
Because both of these Xanders are in Xander ultimately.
exactly.
Right. So he's probably like that Xander thinks he sucks at everything, but there's also some competence there and he's probably more talented than he gives himself credit for. I would say
Absolutely.
it's probably really easy to have an inferiority complex when your best friends are a fucking slayer and a witch and a watcher and a werewolf and a fucking army guy. It's probably really easy to think poorly of yourself.
Yeah, 100%, a hundred
Yeah.
percent. It's kind of like us. Like I spend all my time talking to somebody who's much older than me from New York who feels like he's better than me a lot of the time.
Who feels like he's better than you?
That's what I feel like a lot of the time. So, but weird thing with like a nickel in this episode, like a shiny
Logan, I
nickel.
I think someday you're gonna be cooler and smarter than I've ever been.
I feel like we're long past that day.
Nah, at
No, I'm just kidding.
25, you
I'm
are
kidding.
you are an impressive person.
Wow, that's very nice of you.
Yeah.
That's the nicest thing you've ever said to me.
Well, I really believe that.
That's very nice. Um, there's like a nickel where dumb Xander thinks it's like he's doing like he's hypnotizing people, but really it's just like a cool thing that he found. Which
Yeah,
it was cool. That if I saw like a flattened nickel from a railroad track, I'd probably pick that up too. That's
same. But he was
sounds.
shining in that dude's eyes. He shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, what was he doing? I didn't
I think it
understand.
was an accident. I think it was just
Really?
so weed. I think it was just so we'd notice the shine.
I was like, what is he doing right here? It seemed like mean. I was like, but this guy's like a normal, like nice, cool guy. What is he doing? It seemed that I don't know really, but it's an accident, I guess.
Yeah.
So we go to his apartment. He signs the apartment, and he
Oh wait, I'm sorry. I looked up the guy who plays his boss, and
okay,
he was on something you watched, and
really
I was gonna ask you about it, and but
okay,
now I can't remember who it was. Keep talking, and I'll get back to it.
yeah. So they fight in the hallway, and then I think Xander invites fake Xander. I don't want to say fake Xander because they're both real Xander, but
Yeah,
like
yeah.
but like um
But that's how you
cooler Xander.
experience it. The first time you watch
Yeah.
this episode
It's
before
really good
you,
episode. This is an awesome
yeah,
episode.
it's fun to rewatch too, like knowing how it ends up.
Yeah. This episode
Um,
rules. I'm way too excited, but it
okay,
was awesome.
this guy who is Xander's guy, his
Yeah.
boss,
Mhm.
okay? He played a teacher named Mr. Danforth in High School Musical 3 senior year. Do you remember him?
I don't think so.
I don't either. What
Mm.
about this? Have you seen the Disney Channel original movie Jump In?
Yeah. That's the
He's
Corbin
in
Blue
that
jump rope
too.
movie. Interesting. I don't remember him.
All right, he's third build. Okay.
I don't know who he is.
All right.
Was he black?
What are you talking?
This
He's
actor.
always been black. I would say before.
I didn't remember. That's why I was asking.
Oh, yo, I'm sorry. I thought you meant like the guy in the black guy in Buffy. Was he black in that too?
Oh no, I didn't remember who you were talking about. Um,
No, no. Yes, he is black.
Yeah, no, 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 100%. Because Danforth, I thought was his name. That's Corbin Blue's dad in High School Musical,
There
and then he
you
might be
go.
his dad and Jump In also. Then,
Amazing.
yeah, that is amazing.
Is he Corbin Blue's dad in real life?
Oh my God, what's the actor's name
Oh my
again?
God, Logan, he
Yeah,
is.
really?
Yes,
Yeah. Oh my goodness, that's crazy. What's his
that is
name?
unbelievable. His name is David Reavers.
Yeah.
So is Corbin Blue's real last name Reavers?
How do you know he's his? What did it say? Is his kid?
It was in his IMDb trivia.
Corbin Blue Reavers. So
Oh
Blue's his
my
middle name.
God. What
That's
what a
amazing.
find. What a find.
We put your knowledge of Buffy, my knowledge of High School Musical and Disney Channel together
Yes.
to figure this out. That was amazing.
What a team.
That was incredible stuff. I loved that.
Yeah.
Corbin Reavers, never knew it. All right. So, all right. So, where were we? I forgot what we were. We had the coin. Oh, we had the fight. He invites Anya over, so Anya comes over. But they go. Oh, so it's like fake Xander. I keep saying fake Xander, because that's what I wrote
Suave
it down
Xander.
as.
Call him Suave
Suave
Xander.
Xander. He goes to Giles' house and he says, "Hey, there's another Xander. You guys have got to believe me." And Buffy seemingly believes him, right? And so
Yeah.
so real Xander goes to Willow because Willow's not at Giles' house. Willow was off with Tara, I think,
Yeah, we
right?
don't
We're
see
supposed
her,
to
but
assume
she's probably around.
she
Yeah.
comes in from like hanging out with Tara. That's what I
Yeah.
thought. And he said he does like the Snoopy dance. That was
Well,
cute.
this is a callback, Logan.
Really, I thought it might be.
In Passion, the episode where Miss Calendar is murdered,
Oh my God. Don't
Willow
remind me.
Willow specifically says that even though she's Jewish, she spends every Christmas with Xander, and they watch a Charlie Brown Christmas, and he does the Snoopy
Aw.
dance. Yeah. And so this is him trying to like jog her memory with something that had actually been mentioned on the show. This is Jane Espenson is amazing at continuity. She remembers everything about every show she's ever worked for. And so
Yeah.
she's really able to pull obscure shit. And I mean, how about that Doppelgangland reference earlier? You know, like she
Yeah.
really has a brain for the show, and
She
she's
didn't
able to
write those
put that
episodes though,
together.
did she?
Not at all. She wasn't even on the writing staff yet
That's awesome.
in the episode Passion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Big respect to Jane Espenson. She's really cool.
absolutely.
Um, so that was a nice callback there. And Xander, he's like going through it. He's like, I may give fake Xander my life. He's doing a better job than I am. That's
Yeah.
so fucking
Oh,
sad. Yeah. So but one I love this part too. Another great Willow moment where he says, But the one thing I have that he doesn't is Anya. We got to go save Anya. And she's like, and Willow
Yeah.
says, really? Just cut to Willow. Really? That's so funny. Oh, that was amazing.
I'm with Xander though. Anya's special.
I love her. Yeah, I just got done saying it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we go, we see Anya, she showed up to Xander's place, and that she has like a great moment with Xander where it's like really deep, their deepest moment we've seen, where she's like, I'm mortal now, and we're gonna like live a happy life together or something. I don't know.
Yeah, and I feel like the first time I watched this episode, I was annoyed that that moment was happening with what I thought was a fake Xander.
Mm.
But now when you rewatch the episode, like if you listen to Xander's response to her and accept it as Xander responding to her, it's such a moving scene. It's really beautiful between the two of them, like trying to come to
Yeah.
terms with this enormous struggle with mortality, and they're like really talking it through and trying to like help each other. I love that scene.
I loved
Best
it
scene in the
too.
episode, probably.
That's possible, yeah. And it was a weird opening, like when it's like previously on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and it shows the part from last week where she gets hurt, where Anya gets hurt, because that's like a big part of this episode, only for this moment, really. But it's a huge moment.
But also she's got her arm in a sling in the whole episode. And
Yeah.
so you don't know why unless you remember that she got knocked out last week.
But her arm is only in the sling so that it's obvious that she's like
Absolutely.
injured.
So it's like that she's visibly injured so they can
Right.
get to this
It's really
conversation later.
interesting. Like that's like a weird aspect that they really delved into, but
Yeah.
really cool. So then real Xander arrives. Or I guess
Yeah.
Willow goes to everybody and she says, "Hey, you guys got the wrong Xander. You guys made a mistake." And they're like, "Oh no."
And they're like, how do you know you have the right Xander? What the fuck?
Oh, this is actually where they realize that it's not evil Xander, it's two Xanders. Like he got split
Yeah.
in half. The guy top was aiming for Buffy. This was actually cool.
They were
This was
trying
cool.
to, yeah, they were trying to separate Buffy's like Buffy side from her Slayer side, and they figure it would be easy to kill Buffy without her Slayerness, but then the Slayer would die also. It really was like it's kind of a well plotted episode.
No, this episode fucking rules. And Riley has a good moment here where because I had the same thought whenever they were explaining it out, but because I was like, wouldn't one side just be like full strength Buffy? That seems terrible. But then Riley's like he asked that question and they're like, no, you don't understand. We can just kill the weak Buffy and then Buffy's dead. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh man, that's really cool. So awesome stuff there. So Riley and Buffy in the car, big moment here. Plays into the end of the episode.
Yeah, it does. It does. You don't even think anything of Buffy's non-reaction in the moment because like she's just focused on the Xander thing. But like Riley does kind of pour his heart out to her
Hmm.
there, and it ends with an I love you, and she does not say it back. And if you go back through Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Buffy only ever says I love you about Riley once, and it's to another person. She
Wow.
she tells someone else that she loves Riley. We never once hear her say it to him.
And I think this is the second time he said it, by the way. I think I remember another time where he said, I think he says like I'm in love with you. It's what he says.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
think he said it twice. I think I remembered that line. But yeah, she doesn't say it. But and we'll get to that a little later on.
yeah.
So crazy moment here. Xander shows up, fights the other Xander. Anya had a gun apparently. I don't remember
Yeah.
that.
Well, yeah, one of the Xanders shows up with a gun, and I'm like, where the fuck did he get a gun? And
Anya had a gun.
yeah, and then Anya says, like, he has my gun.
Yeah, really weird. But it's only to add the threat of someone might die. Like Xander might die here, I think.
I
I don't know.
guess.
I don't know why it's there.
We
It's
should
really
have seen
random.
the gun earlier in the episode.
Yeah. Yeah. It should have had a sticker of Charles' gun on it also. Like his face smiling. It's me, gun. So Buffy shows up and she says, "Guys, you are both Xander. You can't kill each other, or else Xander will die. Don't. That'll be bad for everybody." And then, by the way, the demon, I forget his name. Did he not have a name? No, that was Angel,
Tough.
the guy. Oh yeah, Toth. He had a name here. I thought he looked cool. Cool look to him. He had like
Oh
glow in the
yeah,
dark
yeah.
teeth and eyes and
He had
face
neon green teeth. I liked it.
and like yellow face cool. I don't know.
Yeah, it was very craggy. It was good.
Yeah, yeah, it was cool. So, but Buffy, this is light
And
work.
he did
She
and
just
he did
defeated
glide
Dracula.
out. He did glide out. They're doing a lot with that lately. I thought about that tentacled guy on Angel last week.
Glide out? What do you mean?
Yeah. You know, he with his cape, like he just glided out. You don't see him walk really.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so I feel like the demon designers on Buffy and Angel right now are anti-feet.
Maybe they're all Muppets. We're hiding like where we're controlling all the actors.
By the way, David Boreanaz would be great with Muppets.
Oh, I by the way, I did think of him, but I was like, there's no way they would put him in a movie. Like I had to make it kind of realistic. But I had the same thought. He was so like
A
dry.
a TV special with Muppets with David
Oh my
Boreanaz would be great.
God. We should talk to somebody. They should do that. David Boreanaz with Muppets. He would love it too, I think. I think he'd really get behind
Yeah.
it.
You could call it foams instead of bones.
Wow, foams. I don't know about that. So we Buffy kills the guy.
You could call
Easy.
here, you do SEAL team, but they're all SEALs.
I love that. That's good. That's really good. Um, all right, so we go. Oh, funny moment here again with Riley, where we're gonna turn Xander back into one, and Riley's like, "Does anyone else want to do experiments on Xander?" And they're like,
Yeah.
"What?"
Well, that's another good paying attention to continuity thing from Jane Espenson. Let's not forget that at some point Riley was a TA in a psychology class.
Well, I thought this was more like his weird initiative thing.
Are well, I think that's part of it, but he's also like interested in human psychology.
Okay, I didn't think about that either. So she's way ahead of me, Jane Espenson.
Mm.
But I thought that was really funny. And then Anya, of course, she doesn't want Xander to go because she wants a threesome. That'd be
Yeah,
really fun.
I liked that.
And everyone's all grossed out. Giles is like, let's never talk about that again.
Yeah.
And by the way, this episode or this scene is hilarious because then Xander he starts becoming a bad influence on himself, and they both become really immature.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God. And then so Willow says, "Let the spell be ended." And then he's
Yeah.
back to normal. And so that's great. And then the end of the episode, right? Riley's helping Xander move out, packing up his boxes. He does that thing where he's like, "I'm gonna miss this place." Not really. It was terrible. And great Anya moment here. She's like, "Buffy has super strength. Let's just like give her everything and she can
Yeah.
take it in one foul swoop. That'd be good."
Yeah.
Um,
Sander references something blue, things that happened in something blue when he was a demon magnet, and in Restless when he had his heart ripped out, and
yeah.
maybe a third thing that I can't remember right now.
Huh. Lots of this was action packed this episode.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Wow, Riley, you're lucky to have Buffy." And it's like, "What? Why did you say that?" And then but
Yeah.
Riley's like, "Yeah, I am
I
lucky,
know, but
but she doesn't love me." And it's like, "Oh, that's sad." But then Buffy shows up and it ends with Xander like watching as they kiss each other.
yeah, sort of just like he doesn't have any verbal reaction to it. It's just sort of like, holy shit. Wow. Like I think
I
like
have no idea what to think really.
yeah, it's an insight into Riley for sure.
Yeah.
Um and yeah, let's see where it goes.
But it's interesting from everybody's perspective. Like, is Xander interested in Buffy? Clearly, Buffy's happy. She shows up at the end and she's kissing Riley, and I've never seen any sign of her being unhappy with Riley. Like,
Right.
she doesn't have to be in love with him to be happy with him. Especially
That's
she's so
right.
young. She's like 20 years old or whatever. Um, Very interesting stuff. I love it. I really love this episode.
But you have to remember, Buffy is not someone who's never shown any passion in a romantic relationship.
That's right. You're right.
I mean,
And he
she
knows
has
it too. And
yeah,
Riley knows it.
yeah. He knows about Angel and that was an epic love affair and that has not been Riley's experience with Buffy.
Yeah, it's tough to compete. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Really excited. I think season's off to a good start so far.
Yeah. One of the things I like about this season is it is planned up the wazoo. Like every scene I'm seeing not only like serves the episode but serves the wider season, and that's really cool to watch.
Yeah, you can feel that even though this is the least like Spike and Dawn. We don't get really any of them this episode doing too
Yeah,
much. And though that's been a lot of setup for the future, I think. But it's weird I like this episode so much considering there's so little Spike and he's actually probably my favorite character. So
yeah.
that's interesting. But I give it 4 stars. What about you? Come on,
You
you
know,
gotta go 4.
I was at a 3, but I've been able to get you up to a 4 before, and you were
Yeah.
able to get me up to a 4 here.
You did it that Hyperion Hotel episode. I was like at a 2 and then you brought me up to a 3.
Yeah.
Uh, but
We had a good sometimes we have like a good discussion.
I think we always do on the Buffy.
I know this is such a
This is the one
I
we get
love
most
this
into.
podcast.
You said wrestling's the second best one. You meant this is the best one?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the most fun I have like watching and recording
Yeah, same.
to get together. So you go 4. My MVP, I'm gonna go with Xander.
Me too.
And my LVP, I'm gonna go with Joyce.
Oh.
Sorry.
I'll go with the real estate lady.
Oh yeah, I knew you'd do that in the moment. Yep.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's
Uh,
good.
and where does it rank for you?
I rank it between I rank it number 16
Jesus
out of
Christ.
81. Rank it between Angel and Bewitched, Bothered, Bewildered. It's a little like the Zeppo. I have the Zeppo down at 31. So I think this is like 200% better than the Zeppo according to this list.
I like the Zeppo. Where do I have the Zeppo?
You have the Zeppo. Should I start with you have the Zeppo at 17, so one spot
Oh, that's
lower than
two.
where I have this.
Where do I have Bewitched, Bothered, and Bewildered?
Yeah, that immediately those were the first 2 episodes I thought of. I think it
Yeah.
makes sense. That's at 23. So 6
All right,
under the
read me
Zeppo.
down from there.
The Initiative, Wild at Heart, Surprise, Ted, I Only Have Eyes for You, This Year's Girl, Primeval. Come on.
Keep
Harsh Light of
going.
Day, The Freshman, Living
There we go.
Conditions,
Between Primeval and the one after that.
The Harsh Light of Day.
Yeah.
So we have these like almost exactly flipped, this one and the Zeppo. You have them 17 and 31, I have them 16 and 31. But the
There you
opposite.
go.